Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Matthew, and today is a very historic moment. After 7 years, after 7 damn years of waiting, trying to find, and literally to no avail, because places just refuse to stock up sometimes, I have finally found, tracked down, bought, and got for myself the NECA Godzilla 1995. Oh my gosh, did this figure take me so long to freaking get? Honestly, I'm finally happy. I finally am holding him in my hands. He's mine to keep. He's mine forever. But yeah, this is a review of the NECA Godzilla 1995, Burning Godzilla, and I must say, I got this guy used, so there is a bit of wear and tear on this guy, so, I mean, at least I have him, so you know what, I'm not complaining. So, let's just dive right into the figure. For Sculpting Paint, it's honestly pretty good, actually. Now, you might be wondering why I say actually. Well, it's because people have given this thing crap because it's the 94 sculpt just redone. That's the thing with NECA. They like to reuse their sculpts a lot. You know, look at the Alien Predator lines that they've done. It's all retools almost. For Godzilla here, it's kind of the same thing. They took the 94 mold, made it almost purely translucent orange plastic, and painted black paint over top. And I can automatically tell you right away that everything except the tail, the feet, and the forearm and the wrist. Actually, I don't know if the forearm is not translucent. And the head are all translucent. Everything here is translucent, which brings us to the sculpting primarily, which the head looks ferocious. Look at this beast. Fiery red to yellow to black pupilled eyes. That just looks beastly. The teeth look pretty well done, honestly. Obviously, we do have a bit of scuffing, but I mean, it's not that bad. It looks overall pretty damn sweet, I would say. We got some dual rows of teeth up there, and we got some nice dry brushing. The tongue paint is surprisingly well done for such a small little thing in there. I definitely think the tongue is a bit too long and skinny, but I think it's fine, honestly. To be fair, Godzilla's mouth is like probably the world's biggest mouth. You might notice that there's a bit of a green-blue wash. Well, it was like this on the the 1994 figure, and the reactor glow, which we will do a comparison, more depth in a video. Not this one, but we'll just do a brief comparison in this video. But you can definitely see that, like, the red gums here contrast really well with, like, the blue kind of greenish color going on. It looks really nice. The orange, however, steals the frickin' show. Look at this. It literally looks like straight up lava being poured down and into the crevices, especially like here where the the radiation would be most apparent. And even on the dorsal spines, it just looks so gorgeous. And like everything about the translucency and like the color on the orange just looks so good, and it's different from figure to figure actually, so you're never going to get the same experience, which if that's a good thing or bad thing, I'm just going to leave that up to you, because I've actually seen some Burning Godzillas that are almost pure orange, and some of them that not so much, but overall it's a really nice mix and match. But for the charcoal gray, again, takes on that like kind of glossy orange, blackish, greenish, bluish kind of color, which, keep in mind, this is an older NECA figure release, so these were the more glossier figures. And here we have the claws, which, my good gosh, look at that. I know they're not red, and I know they're blue, but I gotta say, the blue contrasts the orange so damn nicely. It's honestly amazing to see how well NECA especially did their figures back then, because I'm thinking that this was the one where they did the blister style packaging. Because the one where they do the 5 panel box, kind of like their Ultimate figures, the Burning Godzilla reissue was a bit more matte in terms of color. Not my name, but just the matte color instead of glossy. Like it's just like this. This would be considered like a matte color. It's not shiny at all. This is glossy. Moving down to the feet, here we have some more of that nice kind of detail, scales. You already know the dance from the 94 and Reactor Glow figures that I've reviewed like a million times by now. But the foot claws are again a little bit scuffed, but that's to be expected because they are like you put the figure down and automatically you're scuffing it. But look at that. That is beautiful paintwork. Of course, they didn't paint the bottom of the feet because you're not going to really be having it like that. You're going to be having it like this on your shelf anyway. But yeah, that's really like just so cool. Look at the detail at the bottom of the feet, and then the tail. Uh, I know it's a bit too short for some people's liking. Personally, I don't find it really all that much of a problem. And this is actually kind of a controversial part for some people. I've heard many people give this part crap just because like, oh, it's a mixture of both. It's a transition, guys. Would you rather have it being solid red, sorry, solid orange, to just plain white? Or would you rather have a mix like this? Regardless of what was in the movie, I'd rather have it be like this. And of course, yeah, the spines do have that orange kind of stripe. Well, not really stripe. It's a strip. There you go. It's like a strip of rubber with these spines, and then they attach it on. That's how they made it. You can kind of tell because of the color difference. But honestly, it's not really much of a problem. I mean, you're going to primarily be displaying it from this side to this side, and luckily these spines kind of cover it in the way. And because there's so much stuff going on, you're rarely going to be able to see that. I bet you probably didn't even notice that until I pointed that out, huh? But yeah, going down to the tail here, it's surprisingly consistent with the rest of the body, given the fact that like from here to here, hold on, here to here is a like articulated segments, and then here to here is like pure rubber. I know I just spoiled the articulation section, but this is like a figure that's almost 10 years old. Sure, you guys should have seen the figure by now, but well, I'm talking about like the 94, you know. But it's surprisingly really consistent with the color scheme. Maybe not so much with the dorsal fin paint, but it's really nice and gnarly and detailed. Just looks so well. And of course, tip of the tail really doesn't have anything else different. It's not really Shin Godzilla's tail. Pop that tail back on. I accidentally popped it off. But yes, overall, this is a very, very, very well done figure. I definitely think that this is probably like one of NECA's best examples of what they can do with translucent plastic, and it pains me to see that we didn't see more of this. I mean, I know we didn't. I know we saw more of it with the King of the Monsters figures with Mothra version 1, 2, and Rodan. Yes, Rodan was translucent, plus a bit of Reactor Glow Godzilla as well. But damn it, would I've killed to get more translucent figures. Maybe a bit more with the 89 and 03 repaints. You know what I'm talking about, the Hyper Maser Blast and Biolante Bala repaints. But for the sculpt and paint on this one, what are y'all taking? This is a fantastic figure in terms of the sculpt and paint. My good gosh. Now, time for the articulation section. And let me just tell you this right now. If you think that anything has changed on this figure compared to the 94 figure or Reactor Glow Godzilla figures, as you guys probably saw from my past videos, nope. Nothing has changed whatsoever. But I mean, to really just kind of discuss it, let's first start with head. The articulation. For the head, it's on a ball joint. Now you can look left, look right, up, down, side to side, and of course the hinge at the jaw. Now, I know not everyone's going to know this. So your logical thought process is that this plugs into the neck on a ball joint and the neck plugs into the body on a ball joint, right? Technically speaking, you are correct. But you notice this. Notice how that's like kind of floating, but the head isn't moving at all. So I'm going to bring in another figure for better comparison or demonstration. The figure in question that I'm currently going to be comparing him with is the Reactor Glow Godzilla from Loot Crate. They use the exact same body sculpt and the exact same body techniques. The only difference is that this is green, translucent, kind of opaque, transparent plastic that glows in the dark versus opaque, translucent orange plastic that doesn't glow in the dark. If you pull his head off, which I'm just going to do that with light force, and you pull this sleeve off, yes, I said sleeve, you'll see why in just a second. There we go. This entire head system is just one big barbell style ball joint that has one plug into the body and another peg right at the top. So essentially, without the neck piece, your Godzilla would just be looking like this. And yeah, it does look stupid, but what's also cool about that is, and also not cool, is that the Godzillas, the 94 molds, have the groove at the back that allows their head to look up. No, you cannot actually look that far up with the neck piece on, because if you do, then all that just happens is that this is how far you can look up before you start popping out the neck. And also, I would not recommend doing this because if you guys notice, that is the reason why 94 heads start popping off so easily. It's because you start winding up this little, what's the word for that? No, it's not directly a sleeve. This little slit, I'll just say. This little part. Jeez, that is so friggin' blurry. Okay, there we go. Just lost focus. But yeah, you basically get my point. It widens it up so that way, whenever that happens, your 94 head starts going off, and then that's what happens. And that's why my 94 head is now glued on permanently with its mouth shut and with the glue seeping down into the other parts of the figure, completely ruining the damn thing. I ramble way too much about these things, but one more thing. I'm sorry, but this is the content you guys watch anyway. You see this little kind of pegged in part? Yeah. Funny enough, there's actually a little molded in piece that fits literally like a puzzle, so it helps for better rotation. Keep in mind, it doesn't peg in there, it more just rests in there. That's why it's like free floating in there. So yeah, pretty damn good sweet articulation. So with that being said, you can move, before you pop out the head, up about that far, down about that far, to the left and to the right, depending on which way you want to say what is right and left. That's just his right, his left. Huh. No, this is his right, that's his left. There you go. Look at the Tabgus intro. Arms can go up about that far, down about that far. You can rotate pretty much all the way around, as you can see there. No articulation on this part of the bicep because it's actually glued in, because I bought mine used. Not really mad about that, but this part, you can actually kind of swivel and go in and out. So you can kind of get like a little in and out motion, because there is actually a hinge in there, which allows for some extra range. The forearm can go out about that far, which is pretty good range. Inwards about that far, so you got like a good 90-degree bend. It's a fully functional arm, and can actually rotate a little bit. Hold on. Can it rotate? Huh. Wait a minute. I could have sworn. Yeah, you're able to rotate this thing. Look. Granted, it's not much, but what happened to this? It's not rotating on me. I don't know, I don't want to break it any more than it's already been broken. But yeah, still, it's decent, pretty good range. Ball joints at the wrists. Actually, funny enough, this wrist popped off on me. Ab crunch. Kind of get like good up and down. Nicely done. And you can get some good articulation out of the thighs. Kind of do pretty much like a full 360. Because keep in mind, there is like a... Okay, I just had the word. I knew what it was going to be. Okay, I need to just think of my words before on. But yeah, you can do a full 360. And you can go out to the side, which I find weird that the reactor globe doesn't really have like that sort of range. Okay, now I'm starting to be looking like a liar. Look at that. Let's see, for the knees, kind of kind of bend in inward, kick out, straighten out that far, and also has a swivel, ball joints at the feet, and same thing on the other side. Now the tail, ball joint, ball joint, ball joint, ball joint. So 4 segments of ball joints, and then a bendy wire for the rest of the tail. Although do keep in mind that bendy wires are prone to snapping. Again, this happened on my 94 because I got this thing when I was a reckless little kid instead of just a mindful collector. Not knowing that NECA would discontinue their line and then I'd be screwed if I tried to get a replacement. But hey, this guy popped up on the aftermarket for really cheap, so I took what I could get and I'm satisfied with it. So here's the comparison you guys have been waiting for. A comparison with all 3 of the NECA 1994 sculpts. Well, pretty much the same sculpt, just different figures. The NECA 1994 from Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, the Loot Crate Reactor Glow, glow-in-the-dark edition, I don't know, DX thing Godzilla, and the Burning Godzilla, which, might I say, now that I finally own him, you might think there's not really a purpose for him on the shelf anymore, hey? No, I'm still gonna keep him. I mean, he's the rarest NECA figure, like, ever made for Godzilla. He was released only one time, and wasn't even a retail release. I think the only place you could get him outside of Loot Crate was AliExpress, but even then, I think those are, like, rejected prototypes, factory orders, or something. I don't know. But might I say, there is literally no difference compared in terms of the sculpts. Yeah, maybe different materials, because these two are made of, like, translucent materials, and even then, the translucent materials are different, and this guy's made of solid material, but fundamentally, they are the exact same size. Literally nothing is different. Although, you can definitely see the glue still there after all these years. How is that glue not worn down? That must be some strong damn glue. Now that really I'm thinking about it. Because, like, that thing literally has seeped into the figure at this point and still hasn't worn down. People, get yourself this type of glue. That's like dollar store type of glue I got, I think. I don't know, I'm just recalling that moment right now. So for an exercise comparison, here he is next to his Gashapon bootleg counterparts with the 94 to 95 and then a bunch of the others. So, my good gosh. It feels so good finally having this and not calling these two my main Burning Godzillas anymore. Like, look, I like these figures, but damn it, this is a whole lot better. And a lot more up to my standard nowadays, at least. And here he is next to the little tiny Yubi Godzilla finger puppets that are also Burning Godzilla with number 1 and number 2, which is just him kind of standing and him in the bubble bath. Or just setting Tokyo literally to steam hell. And I must say, Godzilla here, again, is much better. I mean, these are finger puppets and this is an action figure, so what's really the comparison there? What? They're both, I guess, Burning Godzilla? I mean, yeah, they're all Burning Godzilla, so yeah. And for another size comparison, here he is next to the Godzilla Ornament by Heirloom, I think. Is it Heirloom? I don't know, I think you're American something. But, yeah, either way, this is, honestly, again, a rare figure. It's been discontinued for years, but got him for only $5 with the box included, so... Kind of see the light up there. Yep, pretty sweet pair of figures, I will say. And for another size comparison, here he is next to the Playmates Destroyer. You might be wondering why I have 2 of them. Well, that's simple to answer. Lots I got this guy on his own, and I bought this guy in a lot with get this, 8 Playmates figures. That includes Monsterverse Classic Series, both together, for $50. At retail, they're all together about 80. Pretty damn good price, I would say. So, yeah, I'll definitely be on the lookout for prices like that again. And for the comparison that you guys have probably been waiting for, and the final comparison for this video, here he is next to the NECA Burning Godzilla, which from 2019's Godzilla King of the Monsters, which I will fight anybody, fist and cuffs, if I have to, if you call this Thermo Godzilla. Nowhere has ever been confirmed that this is Thermo Godzilla. It's even advertised as Burning Godzilla on packaging, yet you hacks still want to call this thing Fire Godzilla, Thermo Godzilla. It's Burning Godzilla, guys. Get it right. But yeah, Burning Godzilla. Which one do I think looks better? That's kind of subjective. But of course I'd be saying him because I'm biased as hell, but then again, this is the OG, so yeah, that's got my brain into a bit of a spin of confusion right there. And hey, I discovered if you put the beam effect in the NECA 1956 poster version of Godzilla King of the Monsters beam effect in there. Wow. That has to be the worst timing ever. I was gonna say I discovered that you can kind of finagle it in there, but I guess that's not really the case, huh? Okay, that should hold. But anyways, what are my final thoughts on this figure? Honestly, this is freaking sweet. The sculpt and the paint applications are truly one of a kind. It does not have an equivalent. It really doesn't. I mean, the reactor glow exists, but you know what I'm talking about. It's made by the same company anyway, so it's not really fair to say that's, you know. But it's amazing. It's rock solid. And I can really just say my childhood self right now would be amazed. I finally got this figure after nearly 7, or I think it's over 7 now, over 7 years of trying to buy this figure. And I finally have it. Well, actually, I think it came out in 2015, so whatever, close to 7 years. That's close enough. But it's finally a breath of fresh air to finally have this Godzilla figure in my hands, too. For a price of only like $30 on the aftermarket, because that is how much he goes for nowadays, it's not a bad go. It really isn't. Truly, if you can just get like any version of this figure, go right ahead. But at least make sure it's mint as possible. And if it's still in the box, make sure not to take it out, unless you really want to. But of course, you know, if he was facing 2 destroyers, as I had him displayed earlier, he'd probably get his butt kicked. Because let's be honest, 1 destroyer was already hard enough for him to beat. So, with that being said, thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys liked it, definitely subscribe to the channel. Jesus loves you. God bless you all. Go out there and spread the gospel. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, everyone.